I want to speak to you about a very large personal loan from Figure, $50,000, and the minimum FICO here is 560, and your cash will be delivered faster than DoorDash would. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you were to ask me, if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to introduce you to a lender called Figure. And this lender will offer you up to $50,000 in personal loan. But you got to have, normally they want you to have a FICO score that is kind of high, like 680. But I'm going to show you how to get this loan with a FICO as low as 560. So please stick around. The first thing you need to do here, this is a step-by-step. The first thing you need to do is to figure out Figure. You want to figure out the company called Figure. And when we think about Figure, this is a lender that offers you a simpler, faster way to find the loan that's right for you, okay? So you can choose from a purchase mortgage, mortgage refinance, personal loan, a home equity line. So they have this 4 loan categories they focus on. And we love the fact that it's very fast, okay? It's very fast. You can apply 100% online in minutes and you get your funding decision very fast. What are the pros and cons here? So we have quick online application, larger loan amounts available, and low APRs, okay? What about the drawbacks? So those were the pros. What about the cons? Now there is a 3% maximum origination fee that may apply depending on your state and your situation, and unemployed people are not eligible. So if you are unemployed at the moment, you might want to check out other loans. And one thing I want to say here is that with Figure, you have personal loans that you can, if you have bad credit, fair credit, or good credit, you can get a loan. The whole thing is about liquidity. So liquidity, in other words, your financial situation, how much moolah you have in the bank account, becomes a vital ingredient in your credit file. So they're going to look at not only your credit score, they're going to look at your employment, they're going to look at your financial situation. You have to also provide a personal financial statement. So there are about 4 types of lending products when we think about Figure. So they have a mortgage, as I said before, they have a home equity line of credit. They have a personal loan. In today's conversation, we're focusing on the personal loan only. And they also have, they have introduced recently a product called Figure Pay. This is kind of similar to a buy now, pay later loan. So they're trying to enter that ecosystem right now. And Figure, I would say overall, they are a great lender. As a matter of fact, on Trustpilot, they have received a score of 4.7, which is excellent out of 5 from a 1,430 reviews. And on our own show, we have scored this lender 8.5. Our overall score, 8.5. In terms of availability, loan availability, 8 over 10. Affordability, 9 over 10. And customer experience, stellar customer experience, 9.5 over 10. Step number 2, you want to check out the loan. So we're talking about a large personal loan from Figure, and the loan maximum amount is $50,000. So as I said earlier, Figure's personal loan requires a minimum credit score of 680, okay? You can see on the screen, it says minimum of 680 FICO. However, in this program, I will show you how to get approved with a FICO as low as 560. So hundreds of people have used our technique to get massive loans from Figure in the last few months, and so can you, all right? So it seems that Figure nowadays has relaxed its underwriting guidelines for some applicants. So please stick around to hear the hacks you need. So when we talk about this particular loan, there are a few things you need to know. Why should you have it? We believe that a big benefit is that you have a quick online application. So you can get approved online within minutes of applying. This is very wonderful. So Figure's automated algorithm lets you link your banking investment, and retirement accounts, your asset accounts, which can save you time in the verification process. So they've done a fantastic job at that. And they also offer larger loan amounts available. So the maximum amount for a personal loan with Figure is $50,000, depending on where you live and your credit worthiness. So in comparison, some of the lenders that we have reviewed on this show, they only offer up to $35,000 to $40,000, right? So you have, for example, you have Marcus by Goldman. You also have Lending Tree, you have Lending Club, right? And Figure also have a low APR. So depending on factors such as your credit worthiness and the loan repayment term, you might be eligible for an APR as low as 5.75%. If you opt for autopay, which shaves off about 0.25%. Okay. One thing I should say here is that Figure offers APRs from 5.75% to 22.94%, including autopay discount of 0.25%. So your rate will be determined once you apply. Your rate will be determined at the time of application. Okay. And one thing I want to say again, I've said this before. The lowest rates are for the most qualified applicants based on factors such as your credit score, right? Your DTI, your debt to income ratio, your CUR, your credit utilization ratio, and credit inquiries. And rates will be higher for other applicants. Another positive element here is that there is no fee for early repayment. So you may pay back your loan at any time. There are no prepayment fees. What about the cons? Now, origination fee may apply, as I said before. Depending on where you live, the loan origination fee can be up to 3% of your loan amount. And unemployed people are not eligible. So again, this is something you need to think about. So at the end of the day, you have to understand when you apply online through figure.com, they just do a soft pull. So your credit score will not be affected at all. Don't worry about that. They just want to give you, they'll give you a list of offers, and you have to either accept or, reject it. It's totally up to you. Step number 3, folks. I want you right now to basically think about checking your credit score. It's very important because the whole idea is to make sure that you increase your chances of getting the loan, right? So big decision time here. Do you know your credit score? When was the last time you checked it? Do you have an idea? I want you to talk to me. Talk to me right now. Do you know your credit score? A lot of folks walk around thinking that they have a 540 or 640 or whatever, but they have no idea, no clear idea. So you need to check your credit score. And by law, Congress has mandated that a website called annualcreditreport.com. Actually, Congress has mandated that the 3 credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, allow citizens to access their credit reports once a year. So to do so, you have to go to a website called annualcreditreport.com, okay? Or you can call 1-877-322-8228. 1-877-322-8228. And they will give you all the info. They'll give you a free copy of your credit report. And remember that if you get denied on a loan application or credit card application, you still are entitled to a free copy of your credit report, okay? So this is very important. And your credit score is so important because Figure, the underwriting team at Figure, they are going to pay attention to that as a vital criterion in terms of figuring out how much they have to approve you for and what interest rate they have to charge you. So remember, just FYI, your credit score is a numerical representation of your credit report that represents your credit worthiness. So the score has 5 components. So you have the payment history that accounts for 35%, the amounts owed, your current debt, it accounts for 30%, the length of credit history will account for 15%, how many types of credit you currently have. This is what they call the mix of credit. That will account for 10%. And the account inquiries, those hard pulls that make your credit score lose weight, those account for 10%. Okay, so you really want to make sure that you constantly check your credit score just to have an idea of what's going on. That way, if there is a mistake or inaccuracy, you can actually challenge it. You can send a dispute letter to the credit bureau. You can contact the lender who has reported the negative item on your report, okay, on your credit report. It's all about transparency. It's all about responsibility. It's all about being proactive as opposed to being reactive. Step number 4, folks. I want you to know the loan requirements. This is important. We're speaking about a large personal loan from Figure. Okay, maximum loan amount $50,000, FICO as low as 560 allowed, and the cash is delivered faster than DoorDash would. Okay, step number 4. What are the requirements of this loan? So, what we love with Figure is that they're very clear about what they want. Remember that the Figure personal loan is unsecured, closed end, and it is fully amortized based on a fixed APR. So you're not really you're not risking any variable APR, APR that jumps all over the place. You have no idea. They start you at 6%, and before you know it, you're paying 12%. No, they're very clear. They're very transparent. They will give you the APR, and that APR is fixed. It will never change. So what are the requirements for the Figure loan, the Figure personal loan? So minimum of a 680 FICO. Again, don't worry about the 680. I will give you very, very clear hacks on how to bypass that. And people have used this hack. It works fantastically. But on the website, they said minimum of 680. Your DTI, your debt to income ratio, must be less than 40%, excluding housing expenses. So debt to income ratio, to be very simple, means that you take how much money you make every month, and you take how much money you pay in debts, and you divide the debt payment, the total debt payments, divided by your income. When we're speaking about income here, we're speaking about net income, not your gross income. This is your take-home pay. So, for example, let's say you're making $10,000 a year, right? And you have about $3,000 in debt payments, credit cards, car loan, all that kind of stuff, and excluding housing expenses, excluding mortgage, for example, or rent. So in this case, your DTI based on a Figure's calculation will be 30%. So there will be 3,000 divided by 10,000. Okay, and Figure also wants you to have a valid U.S. issued ID. You must be in good standing on any previous Figure loans, and Figure, as they just said, does not lend to unemployed borrowers at this time. And retired applicants currently do not require some kind of a employment proof. Okay. So if you are retired, you're fine. You don't have to go through the verification of employment. Now, the thing I have to say also is that if your credit is locked or frozen, you're gonna have to unlock it. Okay, you just have to contact Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion to have it unlocked. So you can contact Experian 1-866-617-1894, Equifax 1-888-298-0045, and TransUnion 1-888-909-8872. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. We are also having a conversation about how to get a large personal loan from Figure with a FICO score as low as 560. Step number 5, you want to boost your chances of approval. And how do you really increase your chances of approval if you have bad or fair credit? As I said earlier, Figure's personal loan requires a minimum credit score of 680. You can see it. It's written black and white on the screen on Figure's website. And basically, what you want to do is you have to, number one, the first hack is you have to have at least 3 asset accounts that cumulatively total at least 30% of your requested loan amount. For example, let's say you are requesting $30,000. You want to have at least 3 asset accounts that cumulatively total at least $9,000, 30% of $30,000. All right. So those must be asset accounts. It must be money sitting in those asset accounts. What are those asset accounts? So you have a 401k, your IRA, your KIOC plan, your Roth IRA, savings account, brokerage, money market account, checking account, CD accounts. So you got to have at least 30%. That's the first hack. The second hack, you need to request a shorter loan term. For example, from 5 years to 3 years. Let me ask you a question. Big decision time. Do you really need the money over 5 years? Do you need to repay the loan over 5 years or 4 years or a longer term, why do you need the money in the first place? I want you to think about that, because why you need the money and your financial situation will have an impact on how long you would want the loan maturity to be. Okay, think about that. And I want you to, I'm not asking you to answer me. You're going to answer Figure when you call them up. I'm just giving you the foundation of the strategy you're going to have to apply. The third hack, you need to prepare a personal financial statements for the last 3 years. I want you to look on the screen right now. And this is actually courtesy of the Corporate Financial Institute, the CFI. Great website, by the way. Great website, great institution. So we just kind of borrowed from them a template of the personal financial statements. You can see here that you have your personal balance sheet and your personal income statement. So when we speak about personal financial statements, we're speaking about balance sheet and income statements. In some cases, they might want you to have a personal statement of cash flows. Okay. So what I want you to focus on the components of those financial statements. So you have assets for the balance sheet. You have assets and liabilities. And when you subtract your liabilities from your assets, you get your net worth. And hopefully your net worth is positive, right? And then on your personal income statement, you have here, as you can see on the screen, you have your income, and then you have your monthly expenses. It's pretty simple, but yeah, so you want to submit something like this to Figure. The fourth hack is to provide tenure at current job. So you want to say how long you've been working at the current job, as well as your pay stubs, your W-2s and 1099s. Next, you want to show you the last 3 tax returns, and you might even have a co-signer or co-borrower. So those are things you can do to boost your chances of being approved, even without a 680 or more credit score. Step number 6, folks, you want to contact Figure. So once you have, folks, I'm showing you the step-by-step here, and you want to contact Figure. Now, Figure is based in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they will put in the address on the screen. So it's great. And they have their general customer support, 1-888-819-6388. And this is for the general customer. If you are interested in the mortgage refinance support, this is 1-888-697-1506. But for your personal loan, just call the general customer support. And so there are a few questions you need to ask. So when you contact Figure, and this is a big decision time, folks. You have to ask them, for example, based on my credit score and all the documents I have submitted, how much can I borrow? Again, this is pre-hard pull. This is the pre-application process, okay? You need to ask those questions way before you apply. You also want to ask them, I need any other documentation before getting approved. So you're just giving them a whole repertoire of documents, right? But you still want to confirm with them. You still want to corroborate with them that, hey, listen, I've given you all this. Is that okay? Is that everything you need? You need anything else? And what is the interest rate on the loan? You want to have that. Again, they'll be able to simulate and give you an idea of the APR you're going to get way before doing a hard pull. And you also want to ask them, how does the loan prepayment work? Obviously, they're not charging you a prepayment fee, but you still want to clarify the whole situation so you know exactly what's going on. You also want to ask them the term of the loan. Okay, what is the term of the loan? Because the term varies based on where you live, based on your financial situation, based on what you requested yourself. And you also want to ask them if besides the origination fee, whether there are other fees. They've said no on their website. When we reached out to them, they said no, but you never know. You constantly want to ask and double check, okay? The origination fee, folks, I need to clarify one thing. Never pay an origination fee before getting the loan. Normally, the origination fee is taken, it is subtracted from the loan amount. Never pay someone. This will be scammy. It will be a giant scam. If a lender were to call you and say, listen, hey, I want you to pay this origination fee before giving you the loan, you want to run away as fast as possible. And another question you might ask them is, does the loan require a co-signer? Step number 7, folks, here. I want you to apply. How do you apply for a loan with Figure? So you can get pre-qualified on Figure's website, which will give you an estimate of the loan amount, repayment term, and APR you are eligible for. One thing we love with the Figure process is that the entire application process is fully automated and can also be done online. Okay, and so to apply, you will need to provide a valid government issued ID and basic information such as your name, address, date of birth, and income verification. So a credit check, which will result in a hard pull, will be done, but that will be later on. And you have up to 14 days to complete the application. So once you are approved, the money from the loan can be deposited into your account within 1 or 2 days. Okay. Now let's look on the screen right now. I want you to look on the screen right now, so you can see here the first step here is they're asking you for your primary address. So that to your city, your state, and the financing purpose. Why do you need the money, and the requested loan amounts. Okay, and you want to put whether you are a homeowner or whether you are a tenant right now or something in between. The second step here, they're asking for your first name, last name, your date of birth, folks. All this information is fictitious. What you have on the screen right now, we just put it for illustrative purposes, educational purposes. Okay. So nobody in our team was born about 100 years ago. So you have to put your citizenship status, your annual gross income, and the source of annual gross income, right? Your phone number, your email. You have to register on the Figure website. You put your password. On the third screen here, you can see you need to agree to their disclosures, the terms of service, all that kind of stuff. And just click, I agree. And this is the pre-qualification. So this pre-qualification will not affect your credit score. Next, if they cannot identify you from the information you provided, I mean, again, we are having this because everything we put in is fictitious. But normally, if you put everything right, they should give you a list of offers. But in our case, they're asking us for our social, okay, and social security number. You put that in, you click submit, and So now, one thing I want to do with you very quickly is that if you look on the screen. To the left of the screen, you have a series of steps, right? So they're showing you the application progress. So you have the basic info, you select offer, you provide more info, you verify identity, you link income sources, and you sign documents. This is how things really work with Figure. So you provide your basic info, they do a pre-qualification, then you select the offer that works for you, and then you provide more information so they can identify you. In other words, they want you to give your social and everything else. And you have to link your income sources, so your bank accounts, your brokerage accounts, anything that shows that you really have money at a bank or whatever. You have to provide that, and once they verify and everything is right, you're good to go. They will send you the promissory note. You have to sign the documents, and that's it. Thank you so much, folks, for your attention in today's conversation. I was speaking to you about a personal loan from Figure, and I'll give you 7 steps. The first step, you need to figure out the company Figure. You need to check out the loan, step number 2. Number 3, you need to check your credit score. Number 4, you need to know the loan requirements. Number 5, you need to boost your chances of approval. Number 6, you need to contact Figure. And number 7, you need to apply. Thank you so much for your attention once again. I really appreciate it. I will speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.